Ooh-wee, okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a post-fight show for UFC Fight Night in Brazil, which was the Ultimate Fighter Season 3 Brazil finale with the heavyweights and the middleweights. And this card was so-so. It wasn't good as the Germany card earlier in the day, but it had its moments. And yeah, the main event was a heavyweight bout with Stipe Miocic and Fabio Maldonado going up to heavyweight. So let's get started on the post-fight show for UFC Fight Night in Brazil, Ultimate Fighter Brazil Season 3 finale. Okay, yeah, it's a low-budget show. I can't afford flashy special effects, so that was my little intro there. Okay, so the main event was my good old buddy Stipe Miocic, the Croatian sensation heavyweight, going up against Fabio Maldonado, coming from light heavyweight going up to heavyweight. Yeah, this was a quick fight, lasted 35 seconds. And it was pretty much Stipe really finding his range early on and landing some good, clean shots, working good boxing skills, good technical skills, and getting Fabio against cage and not getting overzealous. He rocked him in the middle of that 35 seconds, and then he waited. He didn't just start teeing off and get overzealous, and he let Fabio kind of get back, and so he can refocus on Fabio. Then he went for the knockout after that. It was a good job, good clean win for Stipe Miocic, and Fabio Maldonado is not easy to finish either. He's known for having a tough chin. So good job, Stipe Miocic. Oh, yeah, you know he was ranked number 7 in the heavyweight rankings before this fight. I say he moves up maybe another notch. I mean, Fabio's not exactly a name in heavyweight because he's a light heavyweight, but good win for Stipe, and I say give him a #1 contender match next, or keep him on reserve in case, you know, Kane needs an opponent for the belt. I think that would be a good way to go about Stipe right now, because he's razor thin close to a title shot, if not title shot. Depending on, you know, who's injured and who's around and whatnot. Yeah, so that was the main event. The co-main event was heavyweights Antonio Carlos Jr. from Team Vanderlei Silva versus Vitor Miranda from Team Sonnen. And this was a unanimous decision win for Antonio Carlos Jr. Antonio Carlos Jr. is a great grappler. His boxing has gotten better. His overall stand-up's gotten better. Vitor Miranda is known for his stand-up, his kickboxing, and I figured, if anything, Carlos would mix things up and win. A lot of the experts had Vitor winning. I never in a million years would pick Vitor to win over Antonio. Antonio was just really talented throughout the whole season. He steamrolled through everyone. My only issue with it was I wish he would stay at heavyweight, but he doesn't want to stay at heavyweight. And yeah, he's razor thin close to that light heavyweight division, weighing at 210 something pounds, and I think it was like 215. Somewhere around there he weighed in at overall, and so did Vitor. You know, so both these guys are going to drop down to at least light heavyweight. Antonio might even drop down to middleweight. We're still not sure yet. Nothing's been confirmed, but Antonio will be a talented fighter in the UFC, and he'll win some fights. And it's too far away to say he'll be fighting for a belt just yet, but I'm sure he'll definitely do well in the UFC. So then also on the main card we had a middleweight bout with Warley Alves and Marcio Alexandre Jr. Yeah, this was a middleweight bout, but both these fighters are going to be dropping down to welterweight in the rest of their UFC careers. Yeah, Warley Alves, Chael Sonnen says he's the next big thing at middleweight or welterweight, whichever one he decides to continue fighting at, which most likely he's going to drop down to welterweight. And I think that's spot on because throughout the whole season of Ultimate Fighter, Season 3 Brazil, Warley Alves was mixing things up. He was talented in everything, well-versed in everything, and he had cardio through the roof. And Marcio was known as the karate guy, and he wasn't. His jiu-jitsu was good, but not world-class caliber. I would say not MMA jiu-jitsu amazing or anything. But you know, he's talented, and you know he'll. I'm sure he'll win some fights in the UFC. But Warley, I think that's a fair assessment to say that he will be fighting for the belt in the next year or two. I could easily picture that. He was just too good. This whole season was very predictable, in my opinion. I think the guys that won the show, you could see it a mile away that they're going to win the show halfway into the season. Yeah, this was overall the season was okay. You know, it had its moments where it's pretty fun to watch. I did enjoy it overall, especially seeing Team Sonnen make that comeback. So, Warley Alves, he won by technical submission guillotine choke. That was round 3. Yeah, he sunk that in and he did a good job early on in that 3rd round after wearing out Marcio. Then, also on the main card, we had my good buddy, Damian Maia, which I'm glad he won. I wish he submitted him, but he tried. You know, it just, yeah, he was going up against a tough Russian in the welterweight division because Damian has been at welterweight for a while now, as you all know. And Alexander Yakovlev, he's a newcomer to the UFC, and he's well versed. He's a lot younger than Damian Maia, and he's just a beast. And Damian Maia was able to deal with him, especially in the 2nd, 3rd round. The 1st round was kind of like, I was kind of worried for Damian Maia, but then Damian, towards the end of that 1st round, found his groove, got the grappling, got the top position, was able to really get ground and pound and work that ground and pound throughout the whole match. 2nd and 3rd round, he would get top position and just work that top position any which way a world champion Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner would. So good job, Damian Maia. Good job. Okay. Yeah, he won, by decision unanimous, Damian Maia over the Russian Alexander Yakovlev. Then also on the main card we had Robbie Peralta versus Hani Jason. This match was a sleeper. If you ever need to go to sleep, this is the fight to watch. I picked Hani Jason to win this by just insane, beyond your belief dominance. Robbie Peralta had a really good night, and Hani Jason had a really bad night. I've been saying it for a while that Hani Jason is that guy to look out for in the featherweight division, but his last few matches, man, I mean, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. You know, I hear he's a nice guy, so I kind of feel a little bad for him. Haven't met him. And Robbie Peralta, he won by split decision. And yeah, this fight, I just wish there was more action on both sides. But to make matters worse, one of the judges gave 30-27 to Hani Jason. How in the world did that happen? Yeah, I got Robbie Peralta easily winning every round and getting a clean 30-27 unanimous decision in this match. I don't know what that judge was thinking. And it's like what Dana White always says, don't leave it in the hands of the judges. I totally agree. What can you do though? Robbie Peralta did win the match. You know, the right guy won this match. So that's the nice thing about this match. And yeah, and that wraps up the main card of Ultimate Fighter Season 3 Brazil finale. That's the main card, and an honorable mention on the prelims is a heavyweight bout with Marcos Rogerio de Lima, who was on Team Sonnen as a heavyweight, versus Richardson Mariah. And de Lima won this fight 20 seconds into the first round by KO punches. This was on the Fight Pass prelims. Another reason why you guys need to get Fight Pass. Yeah, this fight was amazing. It was a heavyweight fight, and de Lima is going to stay at heavyweight, so this is relevant to the heavyweight division, which is stuff I wanted to see. And yeah, I just wish every heavyweight that competed in this heavyweight season would stay at heavyweight, but obviously it's not going to happen. But this particular one, de Lima, who won in the heavyweight division, is staying in heavyweight and will continue his UFC career and hopefully flourish. He seems like a good guy, and he is a guy that seems like maybe he could be the next Junior Dos Santos. So yeah, that wraps up the post-fight show for this UFC Fight Night Brazil, Ultimate Fighter Brazil Season 3. And so until then, I will see ya. Oh, and hey, real quick, I'm picking the Russian to beat Ben Henderson this coming Saturday in the main event. Rustam Khabilov. Yeah, it's, man, it's going to be a tough fight for Ben Henderson. I hope he wins, though. So, and I hope Ross Pearson wins over Diego Sanchez. I'm picking Ross Pearson to win. So, we'll see what happens. And I'm rooting for Brian Caraway over Eric Perez. I think Brian Caraway can win, too, if he just uses wrestling to mix things up to get those takedowns. So, until then, I will see ya.